because women raise boys. And women also shape how boys feel about themselves. And women set examples for how boys can become men by the kind of men that women allow in their lives. So this is an opportunity for us to share what we know as mothers of sons. And we're going to talk about that. Now, I personally have raised a daughter, but our sister Beata here has raised a son. Two sons. And our sister Wanda, she has raised sons. No, wait a minute, you've got two sons. So she has raised two sons. And you know, you understand the thinking of a male when you have raised a male. And you understand how sensitive they are, especially when it comes to their feelings of self-esteem. And we want to make sure that our sons have high self-esteem by showing them examples of men who are successful. So we've got a special treat at the 12:30 hour after the break. Our dear brother, John L. Alexander, who works with us in the media, and myself, we're going to address he's going to address the young men, and Books Over Balls is going to give a presentation in gratitude for the work, some of the promotional work we've done with the program. And so we're going to bring that to you live on Facebook. You can join us on Facebook Live.
I want you to clap like you gave it. I gave you $1 million. I want you to clap it. But let me tell you a couple of things about him. I need y'all to stop talking and laughing. This is not funny. And I need you to be quiet. You know better, sir. So he told me to stop fussing. So now listen. This gentleman happens to be the CEO of Solar Select. It's a new solar company that is backing Books Over Balls. We have two major sponsors. That's John Alexander, Naima Latif, working with Solar Soleil, the Media Connection, and we also have, I call it Mama, both of these my uncles. All of David more for you, that are major backers of Books Over Balls. Now, let me tell you who this gentleman is, who he happens to be. He's connected and affiliated with the NBA G League. So through, through him, we are able to sponsor young men to try out for the NBA G League. Listen to me, Books Over Balls is a very powerful organization. So if you want to stop and try out, even if you want Lamar's not here, if you want to go overseas, we got that too. Lamar Flowers was with us formerly from Nike, former rep for Capitol Records. Books Over Balls is no joke. Now, he's also happen to be connected to the Chicago Bulls, the White Sox, the Cubs, the Scouts. This is the gentleman that is going to feature us very soon. I forgot the I forgot his connection and affiliation with Honor. He's also the local photographer for President Barack Obama, for Jesse Jackson, for a host of celebrities and stars. So, on the count of three, I want you to clap like you received $1 million and thunder
person might be you not making it to the NBA or the anyways, because you gotta listen, you gotta listen. Okay, can you do that for me today, please? You too. Can y'all do that? Listen, absorb. You know, you take a sponge. Who knows what shims is? Thinking about the car. Now, can you wipe the water off the top of the shim is dry over the Why do it have to be wet? And you need water to flow over the shim. Think about what I'm saying. It's a lesson in that. That means you need men to teach you how to clean. That's what that means. You can't become a man on your own because you don't have the wisdom to do anything. So you have to get the wisdom from me like those so balls. One of my good friends, all of them, right? They sit over there and talk to everybody, all of them, right here. Why don't we get a little history because this is something keeping the heat on. Look at this microphone, there's one keep going now. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little history on me. I ain't always been a good guy. I ain't always going to suit and tie. Well, let me say that again. No, I didn't know how to dress like you guys. So, 2001, around 2001, because that's how you guys in here. I was making about $295,000 a year. Big baller. $295,000. Nextel was the #1 salesperson in the country. Everybody knew the church homes, y'all know what your parents did. So, back in the big baller, little, division, and State Street, Richmond. Whole life changed. I got Mercedes-Benz, I got a Jaguar, I got 2 offices, I'm running the Greater West Side Home Fund, I'm charging $5 million. And I did one thing wrong. I was dating this girl, she was my best friend. And we went to this bar, and I said, I did not want to go to. Did not want to. Did not want to step my foot in the nose. Because I was with a woman, I went with her. A fight breaks out. She's Cook County Sheriff, not her, but the girl's Cook County Sheriff. I'm not a police officer. Me, I'm not. The fight was so bad that the 2 brothers that were beating the white guy, I couldn't take it. So I told her, bring her the fight. She said no. And she slid her edge to me. I had no idea what I was doing. I took the badge, walked over to the guys, and sounds good, but it's not. I walked over to the officer and said, officer, I'm not an officer. I just used her badge. The white officer said, you're okay. It's okay. You can leave. Get out of the bar. And before I could get the statement in, bam! Put me on the ground. Not one pound. They put me like here, back there with like 6 pounds on me. And they took me to jail division and left. You know this. I spent 18 hours inside the jail with a t-shirt and a pair of drawers. That's how we do it. And I confess that I did. No, I ain't told you sound because it gets big. So, after that, they took me down to Cook County. All schools. All 7. Got my sentence. 1 year in a state prison, a state for impersonating a police officer. 1 year of saving a man's life. 1 year. Think about it. I want y'all to get that. Because you're going to run across that. You got to be prepared to deal with that situation. I didn't know how to deal with that situation. And I shut my mouth and wait for my money when it need no time. But you know what? I think about it again. You know why? Anybody know why? You even think of the reason why I'm making it was a lesson. It was something worse than that. It was even worse than that. run. I talked to the mayor, Dr. Bernie Jackson, Howard Sharpton, and everybody who let us into the police department. Didn't work. Didn't work. So one day I gave me one push, I walked in the police department, pulled my background, gave my background, told them what I did, and said that I would make issues first. And I said, what if that was your brother was getting pulled back, or your uncle, or your son? How would you do that? When you come another person, I need help. That was my closing question. And she said, okay. She called me on Monday. John, you never need to go White House press conference. Dude, I had tape for the White House press conference. But I'm going to be honest, I said all my press passes, I said all my Chicago Bears that I shoot for, Chicago Cubs that I shoot for, Chicago White Sox that I shoot for, Chicago Bulls, Chicago Sky, Chicago Fire, NFL, NBA. I sent her everything. They were so big she couldn't believe it. She said, you come in. She said, the only person I allowed to go in. We went, and I got my police out. The lady don't take orders from us. Orders, I cried today because they told me I can never have this. That's the second punishment. The third punishment, they say you can never go to the White House forever. I've been in the White House so many times, I've been around Barack Obama so many times, it's ridiculous. I've been around kings and queens in Africa, I got CIA clearance, FBI clearance, everything. I'm an ex-felon, fellas. Y'all listen. I'm an ex-felon. But I'm not an ex-felon. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, no matter what you've been doing in life, no matter what you've been doing, no matter what you're going through, you can succeed. You can succeed. That's why I'm here. I don't want to see another black guy go to jail for no reason whatsoever. I used to live in Chicago, I in Harvard, the worst area in the city to me. And I had a bunch of young guys like you that would actually watch my back. One day my brother came over there and punched me in the chest. Them guys came out ready to shoot. And my brother said, you got juice like that. I said, no, I just take it to her. Get it clean. That's what I want to do to him. And sit down and have a conversation with him. Same thing I'm doing with you, having a conversation. And hoping that one day in life, that bullets or balls, the ball that you're playing with, the teammate that you're running with, if you get a chance to be with the NBA, NFL, or anything, and not just be an off player. There's so much jobs in the back of the NBA. It's ridiculous. They got so many social media jobs out there. It's ridiculous. Social media jobs is replacing my job now because they want stuff so fast. So just be as great as you can. How many of y'all want to be great? Put your hands up. Because if the whole put the gun on your hands, we want your hands up for a better reason than that.
Right? Right.
So you all are great. You all are powerful. You all are strong. You just got to believe in yourself. Stay focused in nothing blue. Stay focused, keep your eyes this way. That's one thing he'll teach you. You got to keep looking at the person that's talking to you and follow that person because they give you some information that you need. I'm your best son. You need so many else so you can learn how to get ahead. I'm basically working. I don't even say that. But I started my own soul company, which is sponsoring you guys. I have another guy.
Make some noise.
Once I finished talking to him, he's looking for a team to sponsor Jack Neal. I said, I got a team. He said, I got a team. I don't know y'all. I know those football. So we try to put on uniforms, look like somebody, so not go out and play. Not only do you look good, you feel good that you look good. And you'll play better than you look good. All right? You know that, I tell you that. Who's the best player on this bench? Who's the best player?
want to go back?
Are you out?
Hey, get up on that. Get up on that bench, guys. Y'all can move in.
On three. On three, we'll say books over balls. 1, 2, 3. Books over balls. One more time. 1, 2, 3. We are all our superstars, y'all. Thank you, guys.
Only 2 people on this floor. Everyone else you got to
And we are back. You're listening to The Female Solution. I'm Naima Latif, and we are here now with Mr. John L. Alexander. And we are having an opportunity to learn a bit more about what it takes to mentor young men. This is somebody who mentors boys everywhere he goes. And girls. We got involved with Books Over Balls. Just a random meeting with one of the founders of the organization, Al Rayford, in a McDonald's where Mr. John Alexander often speaks to young men, gives them tips on how to conduct themselves, gives them inspiration about life, and even introduces them to opportunities such as the HBCU tours that we've gone on with the Push Excel organization. And one of the things that I've observed is that when young men see an elder man conducting himself in a way that shows confidence, they change their behavior. And I've seen that happen often. So welcome to our show today, Mr. John L. Alexander.
Thank you, Elaine. I'm the quiet one today.
Yes.
I got a lot of talking to do, so.
Well, today you'll be addressing these young men with Books Over Balls, and you'll also give them a chance to hear some things that may help them know that no matter what circumstances they've gone through, they actually are able to succeed in life by overcoming any challenges that they have. If you could share with us just in a moment, what is one challenge that you've overcome in your life that you think has put you on the course that you are on today?
And let me see. Let me think about what's a good one to talk about, because there are many. Oh, well, I don't know if it was a challenge. I knew it was a desire and a dream, which when I got a chance to meet Reverend Jackson and saying that I was going to be his photographer within 2 years, when I didn't even know how to I didn't even know how to pick up a camera at the time. But I ended up becoming his photographer in like 3 months and stayed his photographer for about 8 years.
Wow.
And so that was one of my accomplishments. My other accomplishment is I had a chance to be told that I would never go to the White House. And I've been to the White House many times. And
Under who? Obama?
Yeah, under Obama. And, you know, that's based on background and history, and there's not enough time in the show to talk about background and history and, you know, what young men go through or what people go through in life. But I've been through some downfalls, and now I'm on my uprise. And my uprise is to bring more people up with me if I can. And you can only bring people up if they want to come up. And some people, you got to beat them up to bring them up. So I've done that. I got over 250 godsons and about 200 goddaughters. I got about 200 wives in acting. And,
Trying to be like Solomon.
and I got a great line of God's sisters, one who is behind the camera, you know, who I love to death. I don't see her that much, but that's Miss Wanda Carter. That is one of my favorite God's sisters that I don't see that much of, so me and her got to change that. But I believe that every time that you go out and you do something, you got to reach somebody, you got to touch somebody, you got to say something to somebody, and you can't be afraid of nobody, because everybody is going to die in the future. But you can't be afraid to die at that moment. So every time I look around, like I went to McDonald's and there was a bunch of kids making some noise, you would have swore down that, you know, I was a cop. But after we got through talking to him, we was sitting down, and 2 of the kids became my godsons, and came out to ECTV, did some programs with me, and I still stay in contact with a few of those guys right now today. So it's just the men of my caliber and my age bracket has to say, we have to reach out and touch these guys one at a time. We can't touch them all, but just one. And if we reach one, touch one, we'll make one. And so that's kind of my philosophy. There was another question posed to me off camera that I'm gonna answer on camera. And that was about my dad. Well, my dad died when I was 6 years old. And I saw him die when I was 6. And I won't get into the details of it because then you'll see me crying, and I don't want to cry. Not today. Anyway, but I had some good godfathers in my life. Pastor Reverend Robinson, who passed away, Pastor Larry Gaston, Bishop Sullivan, and just too many to name. Even Reverend Jackson has grabbed me and put me to his shoulder, and I cried on his shoulder about some things that was going on inside of my system. So when you have good men in your life that can make you feel like you a kid when you're 56 years old or even 61 years old, that make you feel like you're 10, then I think you can change the things in your life. You can change them. They can be changed. Nothing can stay the same all the way through. They can be changed. You can't hold on to the past. The past holds on to you. You make your past your present, and you make it part of your future, but you make the change as you move forward in your future. You don't look back and say, oh, I used to. You gotta say, I look back and say, man, when I did this, this is what happened. I don't want you to go through the same thing I went through. I already paid the price for that. And what meaning is, a lot of us older guys have been to jail. The Reverend Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, and who else you might want to think of, have already been to jail. So we try to tell the young guys, we've done this already. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to go to jail? Why do you want to spend your time in an 8x8 cell with another person that you might not get along with? Get out there and do something different. And that's the main reason why I decided to sponsor Books Over Balls with Solar Soleil. Is because there's a bunch of young men who need a man like me to tell them, give them some advice on what they can and should not do. And I think when we do that, that's not the job of the women. The women can do it, but y'all only can go so far. We can tell them things y'all can't tell. We can show them things y'all can't show them. And we can muscle up on them where y'all can't muscle up on them. So we know how to not be afraid of them and get in their face. I know one young man, I met him for the first time, and he got smart, and I jacked him against the truck. And he's my godson today.
Wow.
And he went back and remembered, John, you remember when you did that? I still remember that because the guy got smart for a second. Mm-hmm. I said, boy, I don't play that. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. So he earned the respect of not knowing that he cannot do that to me. So, being a mentor is not hard. You just got to want to be a mentor. And you first have to be a man with character, a man with, not say prosperity, but righteousness in you. You ain't got to be rich. You ain't got to be poor. You just got to be a man with some character and try to do the right thing and do as much right thing as you possibly can. You're not going to always succeed in doing that, but at least if you try, you'll at least make it. That's what I say.
Excellent answer.
I like what you said about not holding on to the past, and we call that mindfulness and consciousness. But I'm seeing in my own journey, meeting other people who hold on to the past, they become hoarders. Mm-hmm. Because they can't let go of their things, which remind them of the past. And so what happens is, like you said, you don't want these boys to end up in jail, but they end up in a domestic jail or an environmental jail in their own house because they have all these things that they can't let go of, which represent the past. That's what I related when I heard you say that. I was thinking about all the people in my life who are cluttering their houses with things from the past. I mean, you could have a person, I meet people who have clothes in their house that are 30, 40 years old. They don't wear them, but they can't let go of them. And so they got a whole room full of clothes they don't wear. And it's dust and clutter and confusion in that house.
And that's odd, because when you hold on,
Yes.
you got to ask yourself, where's your release?
Yes.
Where is the release?
Yeah, let go.
Let go. And I would have another area I would talk about, but I'm not going to do that today because she already know where I'm going with the second part. But I'm not going to say that today. but to release is to be free. It's like when you go to jail, and I've been there, and you're behind the walls, and when you get outside the walls, the first thing you say is, wow, I'm free. And then you look down at your ankle and there's a monitor. Are you free? You free from there, but you're not free from them.
Yeah.
So then when you get this off, then you become free, and you say 80% of men who come out of jail or prison goes right back in. There's that 20% that don't go back. I'm one of the 20%. I went in 2001, and I've been back about 50 or 60 times with Reverend Jackson. Going in there, taking photos of people, not going back being that type of person to be back in jail. So one day we were looking for our cousin, and my cousin name is Anthony, and I was looking for him, and their family looking for him. And I heard somebody say, cuz. Like, hold up, only one person called me that. And there he was in there looking for, I saw him.